Am I the asshole for eating too many cucumbers? This is perhaps the most bizarre Am I the asshole post that I've ever written, but I'm honestly so confused. I feel like I can't possibly be the asshole, but then sometimes people are too blind to see their own flaws, so maybe I really am. For as long as I can remember, I've had this quirk, I guess you could call, that I never snack on anything other than cucumber. I shouldn't say never, technically, since socially I'll get ice cream or eat a few chips at a party. I'm not a picky eater by any means, but my snack of choice has always been cucumbers. I eat pretty healthily anyways, so a lot of fruits and veggies are a part of my diet. Since veggies are lower in calories, I have to eat a lot of them to eat enough. So I'll usually have some sliced cucumber in my purse that I munch on throughout the day, and I'll always have a cucumber in my car that I just eat whole when I'm driving. I go through several cucumbers daily. Although it's not healthy, I've had days where I've felt really depressed and overwhelmed and have binge-eaten nothing but cucumber. I think I've eaten perhaps 35 on very extreme days. That's insane! 35? What? Recently, this quirk has begun to drive my 22 female, boyfriend, 33 male, of 6 months, insane. His words, not mine. I already know what the comments are gonna say. He said that it's highly inappropriate to carry them everywhere with me. We spent last weekend at his parents' lake house, and I provided my own cucumber to snack on. One night before I was in bed, I was in my room gnawing on a cucumber like a savage when his mother walked in. You sure it wasn't his cucumber? Under normal circumstances, I would never eat like that around others. I would slice it up. She was puzzled but chuckled and said, "My, you do like cucumber." My boyfriend later told me that I humiliated him with my childish and immature eating habits. I told him that his mum caught me in a low moment. He was being ridiculous since he eats a bag of chips every day and I don't bat an eye. He told me that chips were a normal snack and whole cucumbers were deranged. He told me that I needed to stop eating cucumbers and that my behavior was becoming a deal breaker for him. I feel really bothered, but I think cucumbers are a weird hill to die on and I don't want to lose my relationship. So am I the asshole? Edit, I'd just like to add that my boyfriend has never expressed any issues with my cucumber habits before now. The incident in question was because around 8 p.m. I was getting really hungry and I don't know his family super well, so I don't want to go rummaging and asking for a snack, and I didn't want to bother them by asking for a cutting board or something to cut up my cucumbers because of, well, mild social anxiety. So I shut myself in the guest room and figured that I would just snack on a cucumber quick. I don't usually go hide and eat cucumbers, but then his mum walked in looking for my boyfriend, presumably, and was a little bit surprised, but seemed amused and not upset or anything. I honestly didn't think that it would turn into such a big deal for him. In the comments, not the asshole, dump your boyfriend and enjoy your cucumbers. Note, I personally find cucumbers disgusting, and it would still never occur to me to care about this. Think Bullet says, I mean, it's not usual, but people have quirks, and if he's controlling about cucumbers, didn't think this is a sentence I'd write, find a man with bigger concerns in his life. This isn't a quirk, it's disordered eating. The boyfriend may be an asshole, but this is by no means a quirk or even remotely normal. She does have a problem. I'd be concerned about this too, although probably not because my mum saw her eat it. What exactly is her problem? How is it disordered? I understand that the nothing but 35 cucumbers in a day is definitely a problem, but that sounded less like a pattern and more like a one-off instance caused at least in part by depression. I'm genuinely curious. Am I missing something here? Yeah. Disordered eating can come in many forms, and being so fixated on one food in a way that is clearly interfering with her life to the point that she had to hide her obsession is a pretty big sign. This isn't quite the same thing, but for reference, there's an eating disorder centered around being obsessed with healthy eating called orthorexia, that most people wouldn't realize is a problem. Not the asshole. I, 22 female, and my boyfriend, 33 male, was enough for me to be on guard, and the rest of the story confirms it. It's rich that he called you childish when he's dating someone so young. I know, right? And OP, I devour whole cucumbers all the time, end bits and all. I love them as well. Don't feel bad about eating cucumbers, and I doubt his mother made that remark to put you down. To me, it sounded more like an observation, an attempt to make a little small talk. He's the one with the problem, not you. I'm gonna go not the asshole here too. I think the problem is the age gap in the relationship, personally, as well as the eating disorder. It does sound like there's an eating disorder age gap going on here. 35 cucumbers in a day is insane. That's like way too many cucumbers. You need to eat only like half of that, surely. I mean, I myself am only eating 20 cucumbers a day. Doing 1.5 times that? I don't know. I don't know how you survive that, OP. That's a lot of cucumber. Maybe start drinking more water instead of eating more cukes. And now, onto the update, 20 days later. I didn't expect for my first post to really get any attention, so I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to read it and give your judgment. To those of you who expressed concern for my cucumber addiction / that I have an eating disorder, I can assure you that I'm perfectly healthy. I wouldn't consider myself addicted, nor do I have an eating disorder at all. I just really enjoy my cucumbers. I can go days without eating them. I don't need my cucumber fix, it's just that if I'm going to snack, I'd prefer to eat a cuke. I would normally consider the amount that I snack on cucumbers proportional to the amount that my boyfriend or any normal person would snack on chips or other junk food. I just occasionally eat more since they're so low in calories. Additionally, I have had a few cucumber binges. I'm well aware that those are not healthy, just like binging on junk food isn't healthy. But that's extremely uncommon for me, and for the most part, I eat a well-balanced, healthy diet. However, I will talk to my doctor about it to ensure that it's not worrying. As for my boyfriend, we ended up calling it quits. I was pretty hurt at first, but I think perhaps his huge reaction to cucumbers was indeed a red flag for controlling behavior. I think that he was trying to call my bluff, expecting me to give up my cukes for him, so the breakup took him a bit by surprise. How it went down was that I told him that we needed to have a chat. I told him that it was unacceptable to tell me what I was allowed to eat. I added that if listening to me chow down on cucumbers was what bothered him, as some of you in the comments noted, I would avoid eating them when he was around. Apparently, the very idea of me eating so many cucumbers was driving him nuts, not the noise. I decided to try and compromise. He's a pretty heavy drinker and will get drunk pretty often. I know that it's very bad for his health, and I've expressed that concern in the past. I told him that I'd give up cucumbers if he gave up alcohol, and he declined my offer, threw out a few uncreative insults and expletives, and I'm now writing this from my mum's couch with a cucumber in my hand and a cucumber in my heart. Oh my god. I'm still unclear on why cucumbers were such an issue, why I could never eat them again, why me suggesting he give up alcohol was a big deal among other things, but I guess I'll never know. In the comments, McKinnos says, "Thanks for the update. I'm glad I didn't see the original post before now, but dang, what a ride. I'm glad you're rid of him and his anti-cucumber agenda. I've never known a man to be so anti-vegetable before." International Divide says, "I find it weird because I personally hate cucumber, but that's my personal thing. They also give me heartburn, so it's all related. As I love tomatoes and carrots and can live off them for weeks, I also think that's a healthy snack, not the asshole, and keep on indulging in them. Imagine being dumped by your girl because she'd rather eat cucumbers than be with you. I know that's not the actual reason, but that thought had me howling." OP says, "Yeah, he was pretty pissed. You can take the cucumbers away from the girl, but you can't take the girl away from the cucumbers. Well, apparently you can't take away the cucumbers from the girl either." Back up to the post, we have some edits. I seem to have forgotten to add this as it was a common question on the original post, and I'm seeing it in the comments now. No, I did not eat 35 of those mammoth cucumbers. My eating habits may be odd, but I'm not completely insane. I think on my last cucumber binge, which occurs super rarely, and it was quite a while ago, I had maybe 3 or 4 big ones, and the rest were the mini cukes. I do buy a lot of them at the grocery store, but I have a cucumber dealer who hooks me up with huge batches. And for those of you upset at my use of the word cuke, here you go. May your lives be enriched. And just for some clarification, for those who think my boyfriend is completely justified in his cucumber hate and that I'm a lunatic, I agree. Sort of. If he had been bothered by the chewing or concerned about my health, I was ready to talk about it and work something out. I didn't enter into the discussion for a fight or with the intention of breaking up. His attempted grasp for control over my food wasn't even the reason why I broke up with him, but when he started shouting at me and called me a bitch, which he had never done before, I decided to end things. Okay, that makes a lot more sense as to why you would break up with him in that situation, OP. I think if you were like, hey, I really want to know what's going wrong so we can work on it together and we can come to a reasonable compromise, and he's like, I hate you, I hope you die, you're a bitch, I don't want you eating cucumbers anymore, the thought of it enrages me, just thinking about things about you pisses me off, I'm going crazy mode. Yeah, I'd break up with them too. That's insane. That's mental illness levels of like, I'm on your brain 24/7. Don't be in a relationship with someone like that. That's crazy. So thank you for doing the right thing, OP. Keep on munching on those cucumbers, and thank you for the story. Oh wait, there's another update, posted 18 days later, titled, Today I messed up by filling my pockets with cucumbers. I like cucumbers. A lot. They're my absolute favorite snack food, and I always try to keep them on hand. I've had a few awkward cucumber-related incidents in the past. Cucumbers falling out of my purse, my ex-boyfriend opening my fridge only for those noble cukes to spring forth and attack him, the same ex-boyfriend banning me from my snack of choice, the list goes on and on. Although this particular horror happened about 3 years ago, I think I've finally dealt with a trauma enough to recount this nightmare. I think most of us can agree that the TSA came straight from the depths of hell. There are very few things in life that fill me with rage, but those that do often happen to have meddled with my cucumbers. Usually, as a petite blonde woman who is often mistaken for a child, profiling is on my side and I can breeze through security checkpoints with no issue. However, luck apparently runs out when one's pockets are laden with cucumbers. Who would fill their pockets with cukes right before heading to the airport, one may ask? Clearly only a cucumber fanatic with very poor judgment and not enough time to cut them up for a lovely spring salad. Standing in line always makes me anxious, as I'm worried that I'll annoy the person behind me by taking too long. This is especially true for a security checkpoints, since you need to remove your electronics, liquids, shoes, and place them all in separate bins before getting scanned. On this particular day, I had 2 bags to manage: my laptop, camera, iPhone, iPads, liquids, and a whole bunch of mini cucumbers to handle. At the time, I was wearing sweatpants, in which I had about 3 to 4 cukes stuffed in each pocket. Although I had planned on transferring them into my bag before even entering the airport, my nervousness mixed with anxiety must have caused it to slip my mind. Even while standing in line at the TSA, I had completely forgotten about those little green babies that I harbored in my pockets. As I stepped through the scanner, no alarms went off, so I figured I was in the clear. I was wrong. A very tall, terrifying woman approached me. She pulled me aside. I had been randomly selected for the first time in my 19 years. Suddenly, I remembered the cukes. I looked down and noticed a faint bulge in my pockets. My mouth ran dry. I wanted to say something, to confess, but I was frozen in place and the words wouldn't come out. The woman began her pat-down, over my arms, down my abdomen, down my leg. She stopped. I knew I was done for when she asked me if I had anything in my pockets, and upon my affirmation, she asked me to remove the items. Very slowly, I removed cucumber after cucumber and placed them into her outstretched hands. Her face remained like a stone-cold statue. She claimed that cucumbers were included with liquids and would need to be placed in a half-gallon Ziploc bag with my other liquids in the future. She did not return my cucumbers, but rather, I watched in horror as she deposited them in the trash. My tiny cucumber children ripped away from me. Cucumbers are liquid? What nonsense! I was released from the TSA custody and I walked away with a heavy, cukeless heart. So to anyone who happened upon this, take heed and don't leave your vegetables on your person while in the Chicago O'Hare Airport. You will be robbed of them. In the comments, Undercover Introvert says, "Lady, we need to adopt you into our family. The running joke on my dad's side is that our family crest would be a cucumber crossed with an aubergine because we consume a ton of them on the regular. No joke, 5 kilos won't last 3 days in my family household of 4. There are cucumbers in our cars, cucumbers in the nightstands, and cucumbers in our bags. I remember we were going on a hike once, and my baby sister came out of the house with like 15 cucumbers tucked into her belt like an overarmed crazy toddler with too many grenades. Mind you, she was 19 and driving. We have successfully brought cucumbers on planes, and let me tell you, it is exceptionally amazing to crunch on them looking out of the window 30,000 feet up." This is definitely one of the weirder and sillier reads that I've had in a big long while, that's for sure. But I'm sorry guys, it's not beating the couch story. It's not beating the gaycation. Cucumber funny, but you must submit to the gaycation. Also with these antics, I never realized I've been surrounded by psychopaths that love cucumbers as much as this. All the comments are like, actually, I eat more cucumbers than you. I love dried cucumbers. I love cucumbers with sweet chili sauce. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe OP is not as weird as I think she is. But who am I to judge? Go live your life with a cucumber in your heart, OP. Whatever helps you sleep at night. Thank you for the story. Our next post doesn't have an update, but I have opinions I need to share with the world. This one's by user CherryChanel69, titled, "Am I the asshole for making my coworker a separate meal after she insulted my cooking? I work in a small office where we do potluck-style lunch once a week. I love cooking, so I usually bring something homemade. For context, I'm Thai, and a lot of what I make has strong flavors. Think garlic, fermented fish sauce, chili, shrimp paste, that kind of thing. Most of my coworkers love it. Kate, though, has always been weird about it. She made little comments before like, 'Wow, that's pungent,' or 'Your food is so intense.' Once, when I brought in somtam, green papaya salad, she wrinkled her nose and said, 'Ugh, why does it smell like that? Like, it smells like lime and chili.' Sorry it's not a turkey sandwich, Kate. The worst was when she asked me if I grew up eating bugs. Oh, Jesus, what's wrong with you?" And I kinda laughed it off because I was so caught off guard, but she kept going, talking about how she saw a documentary about Thai people eating crickets and how it must be normal for me. I told her, as evenly as I could, that yes, some people eat insects, but it's not like I was raised munching on tarantulas for breakfast. She got all flustered and said that she didn't mean it like that. What did you mean then? Sorry, Kate, but did you grow up eating ass for a living? 'Cause you're exemplifying the "you are what you eat" trope right now, mate. Anyways, last month I made cow soy for the potluck, a northern Thai curry noodle soup. Everyone seemed to love it, except Kate, who took one bite, made a face and said, "Oh, this is strong." And then she laughed like it was a joke, but she barely touched her bowl. Later, I overheard her telling someone that it was too much spice and too many smells at once. So a few weeks later, when it was my turn to cook again, I made my usual dish plus a plain grilled chicken breast with some steamed veggies and a little cup of ranch dressing. No seasoning, no strong smells, etc. I left a note that said, "For Kate, since I know she prefers something simple." She was pissed. She said I was singling her out and making her look bad. I told her I was just trying to be accommodating, the way she seemed to want. Some coworkers thought that it was hilarious, others said I was being passive-aggressive, and honestly, maybe I was. Am I the asshole? In the comments, Helen Bug Lady says, "I would have given her a PB&J sandwich and said, 'I know you don't like anything ethnic,' and when she said she felt singled out, say, 'Well, yes, no one else makes comments, only you.' When I worked in a girls' home, we had to make them sit down with the food on their plate 3 times a day. If they refused what was on the menu, they could have a PB&J. Not a terrible option. My 75-year-old dad who smokes a pack of cigars a day has burned out his taste buds and wonders why nothing tastes good. I'm to the point of just offering him PB&Js too. Ha! Kate sucks. I'd say not the asshole. If someone's going to keep insulting your food, then you don't need to keep preparing it for them. Kate wanted to be an asshole and got served. I'm 100% here for it. Good for you. This is the level of petty that Kate deserves. Keep cooking those delicious Thai plates. I wish I worked with you. You're passive-aggressive? You're singling her out? What's Kate doing then? Love the clapback, not the arsehole. Exactly. Kate's comments are totally aimed at othering OP, and OP's response, instead, frames Kate herself as the outsider. Gracefully executed, and yet absolutely brutal. Genius. I get the enthusiasm, I get all the love and everything like that, but Kate is just a racist see you next Tuesday. That's all she is, out and out, and I'm tired of everyone in the office kind of just brushing it off. Like, bring this shit up to HR and do something about it. That's unacceptable. That probably would get the potlucks banned altogether, making a big mess out of all of this, but like, if Kate feels like she can keep saying this bullshit, she's gonna escalate it slowly but surely. Is that not like the definition of hostile work environment? I need OP to come back and call her out on that bullshit, because saying that a Thai person, oh what, did you grow up eating bugs? That is so insanely racist. That is ridiculously racist. Thank you for the story, OP. I do hope that you get on top of this at some point and take the comments seriously. Anyway, guys, that's where I'm going to end today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.